This is Eastern Airlines Gate 50 in the old Kansas City International Airport, MCI, on November 18th, 1990. The interior of the Boeing 727-200 Trijet. The rear kitchen and the rear-facing exit door of the 727-200 Trijet.
It is the regulation that everybody must be in their seat with their seatbelts fastened and the baggage stowed prior to the aircraft departing the gate area. We've got pretty good tailwinds on our way to Atlanta, and presently the Atlanta weather is clear, 25 miles visibility and 58 degrees. Just a beautiful late fall day for Atlanta. We'd like to thank you for flying with us today. If there's anything we can do on a trip to Atlanta to make your flight more enjoyable, please feel free to ask. Once we get airborne and away from here, we'll be referring to our computer to give you an update on our arrival time in Atlanta.
Backing away from the gate. You'll notice the plane move forward a little before backing up and the increase in the noise from the engines. Back in 1990, airliners with rear engines may use the option of using the plane's reverse thrusters instead of a tow vehicle to back the plane up, depending on which airport they were at or the availability of equipment. Most planes today, especially planes with underwing engines, do not use this method. That is the Delta Airlines Boeing 727-200 at the next terminal. That may be a Delta McDonnell Douglas DC-9-31 behind the white boxed service truck. A better view of the Delta Boeing 727-200 like the Eastern Airlines airplane I'm flying in. Flight safety announcements. The flight attendant doesn't appear to be very happy. I was unaware of the labor problems Eastern was experiencing at the time, which may have erased her smile. In 2 months, she'd be out of a job. This happened because Eastern Airlines, the 6th largest airlines in the U.S.A. at the time, shocked everyone when they went out of business on January 18th, 1991 due to a labor strike, just 2 months after this video was taken. A TWA plane, probably another Boeing 727-200 Trijet. TWA had 61 of them in their fleet. 10 years later, in January 2001, TWA filed for bankruptcy and was acquired by American Airlines. Conclusion of the flight safety announcements.
On the 727, there's a life vest located underneath each seat, as well as life rafts located in clearly marked fueling compartments throughout the cabin, and instructions on their use are found on the safety information card. 330.
Taxiing to the runway. We'll be taking off in 1 minute.
If you have any questions, like the
takeoff time. Here we go. Liftoff. Below is Interstate 29 going back to Kansas City. The round cluster of buildings is Tiffany Springs and includes Truman Medical Center and Baker University. The Tiffany Springs Parkway and Skyview Avenue roundabout. A glance back at the rear starboard engine. Kansas City, Kansas. The Missouri River. The Missouri River close up. Downtown Kansas City, Missouri.
Departure check.
Downtown Kansas City, Missouri, close up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain Grossenheider again. We're presently climbing out of 11,000 feet, going up to our cruising altitude of 37,000 feet. As you can see, downtown Kansas City is up on the right-hand side. We just passed across the Missouri River. We're going to be proceeding on this course for about 70 miles. And at that point, we'll be making a left-hand turn, proceeding directly to Farmington, Missouri, across the Mississippi River to Nashville, Tennessee, and across a little town called Rome, Georgia, and on into the Atlanta area. As I said earlier, Atlanta, the weather is beautiful there. It's clear, 25 miles visibility, 58 degrees. Our flying time is showing 1 hour and 24 minutes, and with that in mind, the computer says that we should be arriving in Atlanta right on our scheduled arrival time. Our scheduled arrival time is 3:30 this afternoon. So many of you have connections or in Atlanta. You should have plenty of time to make all of your connections. We'd like to thank you for flying with us today, and I'd like to reiterate what I said on the ground. If there's anything I can do to make your trip more enjoyable, please feel free to ask.
serving lunch.
Mississippi River proceeding on down to the south. We're just about over Cairo, Illinois, coming up on Paducah, Kentucky, a little bit off on our left-hand side also.
Seeing how the Mississippi River meanders, it must have been one heck of a trip on the old paddle wheel steamboats. Making our left down on into the Atlanta area. We're presently about 200 miles out of Atlanta. On the left-hand side, not little this town out here. On the left-hand side is Chattanooga, Tennessee. Presently, Atlanta's got unlimited visibility. You can almost see the area of Atlanta from here. And presently, it's 59 degrees. Beautiful day in Atlanta. Off on the right, and those on the left will be see downtown Atlanta area, and then the Stone Mountain. Bellwood Quarry, now a lake and park. The Atlanta International Airport in 1990. It sure doesn't appear to be very busy back then.
Flight attendants, arrival check. beautiful view of downtown Atlanta. On the left-hand side, you can see the Atlanta Kanas Stadium to the south of the airport, south of the main part of town. And to the west of the main part of town, there's construction going on there. That is the Georgia Dome, they call it. That's where most of the Olympics are going to be held.
The wing spoiler opening. They reduce the wing's lift, which allows for a controlled descent without reducing flight speed. Turning base. A view of downtown Atlanta. On final approach to land. Another view of downtown Atlanta. Touchdown on the Atlanta runway. The Eastern Airlines hangar. Beginning our taxi to the gate. an Eastern Airlines Boeing 757-225, and beyond it, a McDonnell Douglas DC-9-31. They are still flying today with other airlines. I will be transferring to another Eastern Airlines 727-200 and flying on to Charlotte, North Carolina. I will post that continuing flight video as soon as possible. Please watch for it. Thank you. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel and then click on the bell so you'll be notified when new videos are posted. You'll see a variety of new videos that include nature with animals, birds, pets, and insects, travel, destinations, and culture, plus aviation, trains, vehicles, motorcycles, auto racing, including NASCAR. More videos are coming. See you again soon, and thank you.